That was pretty tough to watch. We knew coming into this fight all of the battles Mike Tyson was up against. We knew how much of a circus this fight was to even be sanctioned as a pro fight. And yet, everyone still bought into the hype. I made a video earlier this week talking about Mike Tyson and why there's a little bit more underneath the surface of all this promotion and why, Mike Tyson is really up against it, being 58 years old. Regardless of his former prime, his former years, that's just not the same guy anymore, unfortunately. And as sad as it was to see, unfortunately, it took that in front of 80,000 people live on Netflix against Jake Paul for everyone to realize that. Going into the fight, Mike Tyson is such a polarizing figure. He is such a guy that is loved by so many people. And like I said, known outside the world of boxing. He's a celebrity. He is a superstar. He's people's idol. He's people's hero. And people remember that hero for what he once was and what they want him to be. And so many people coming into this fight against Jake Paul thought that Mike Tyson would come in here and clean up shop. And look what happened, Jake Paul, someone who objectively isn't a very good boxer, but in terms of marketing, getting people to watch, he's very good at making people want him to lose, getting people to tune in to see him get knocked out. And to do that against Mike Tyson is the perfect opponent, regardless of the age. You can play those old highlight clips for days. And this being on Netflix, this garnered such a wide net of audience, way beyond the realm of boxing fans, combat sports fans, who, just know Mike Tyson as this hero. They don't know anything about Jake Paul, apart from him being some sort of goofy YouTuber. So when we talk about from a marketing standpoint, Jake Paul is an absolute genius for this fight. Now let's actually get into the fight. We had 8 rounds here of both guys pretty much staring at each other in the mirror, You could tell there was this sort of level of respect and fear that Jake Paul had for Mike Tyson, clearly, through the 8 rounds. Mike Tyson came out and had, like I talked about in my video previously, 60 seconds, a minute or two of fight cardio, and then it all sort of fell to pieces. He was standing in front of Jake Paul, was so slow, his reflexes were gone, his legs were completely gone, he was not taking punches well, and it was just really rough to see. And on the other side, Jake Paul, if he was really trying to put Tyson out of there and hurt him, if this was a real pro fight like it was talked about, he could have easily gotten him out of there. So like I talked about, the level of respect that Jake Paul had for Tyson, he didn't want to hurt him, and you could really see that through the rounds. Jake Paul is a king of putting himself into positions where he's not going to lose. It maybe seems like he is going to lose to the broader audience, but puts himself in very winnable fights, if you even want to call them that. I'll give him credit. Most of his previous opponents have been fighters, although they have also been late in their career. Mike Tyson, guys, he's 58 years old. He's almost 60. You saw that in there tonight. No matter who the guy once was, what fighter, how destructive, how scary he once was, that was unrecognizable in there tonight. It turned out to be a pretty sad watch in the end, I thought. And even though we didn't see Tyson get hurt bad, get knocked down, just to see the brutal reality of where everything is, where the chips have fallen, after all of the marketing and promotion and having to listen to so many people talk about how Mike Tyson's going to kill this guy, how he's got cardio for 12 rounds. You guys only saw snippets of the pads on Instagram. That is not a true reflection of how a fight is going to look at all. Again, so many people were caught out by the marketing of Jake Paul. But like I said, he's a genius. He continues to do this. Hopefully people can start to learn the formula a little bit now. Like, if Jake Paul's in there with a regional level pro at cruiserweight. They're going to knock his block off. He's so good at what he does, and you have to give him credit for that. Like I said, this was a really, really tough watch tonight. Mike Tyson, the guy's a legend. This does it impact his legacy? Maybe a little bit. People are always going to remember him as this destructive guy. So Jake Paul, he's going to talk about how he's always beaten Mike Tyson, the baddest man on the planet. People were still calling him that in the promotion. Absolutely wild. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of the fight. I'm sure everyone was majorly disappointed in a pretty lackluster fight in terms of action. What were you guys expecting? That's what happens when living in a fantasy world reliant on this former idea of a hero that once was. That's not what happened today. And it was a brutal reminder that Father Time beats everyone, no matter who you once were. Let me know what you guys thought. Like I said, if you could like, comment, and subscribe, I would really, really appreciate that. And we'll talk soon.